always... I've never disconnected this mic. Never. This has been my one mic. Anyway, enough of me complaining. The Canucks! They won against the Seattle Kraken for the first time this season. Yeah. Before we get into that, I'm Kaja May. Welcome to Game Over Vancouver on SCPN. Pretty much, Vancouver Canucks beat their divisional rivals, the Seattle Kraken, 5-1 tonight. And it was I don't want to say it was a good game for the Canucks. Can I just say that? I want to go out and say it. I don't think it was a good game for the Canucks. Did they show moments of promise? Yes. Was it great for 60 minutes? No. Yeah, it's is there still no sound? Am I still muted? Okay. Apparently people can hear now. Yeah, no, I don't think it was a good game for the Canucks. That's my thought process. So let's talk about it. It was 5-1 Canucks. Now, how did we get there? To start off the night, we found out, not even to start off the night, we found out Kuzmenko got scratched this morning. Yeah, so Kuzmenko scratched, Nils Aman comes in, he gets a new contract, we'll talk about that later. Yes, hello everybody. Yeah, so, sorry. A lot of good chances. I saw, somebody mentioned, Matt early on in the chat mentioned, not a good game. Seattle had two shots in the third. I'm not saying the third was good for the Canucks. The overall, no. Like, third, yes. Second, we didn't have shots for 10 minutes. So there was, Matt mentioned early on, there was a lot of good moments from Besser. Yeah, he had so many shots that were like so close but taken away at the last second, where there was like it just missed the net, or Decord got him too fast, or a million different things that could go every which way in hockey went in the unfortunate direction for Brock Besser tonight. There was one shot where he put it in the crease, and Joey Decord was in front of Anthony Beauvillier, and Beauvillier still couldn't get it in. I thought that was really funny. And then we have our first penalty, which is important. It was in the offensive zone, and in the last game that the Kraken won 4-3, they were 0-3 on the power play. I think I have a note about their power play. Yeah, I'll get to that later. So, this is the first power play of many for the Kraken in this period. Power play, yeah, last meeting, 0-3. Canucks in the last 4 before this game. We're 10 of 12 for the penalty kill. There's a Dakota Joshua breakaway. We're like, okay, that's exciting. That's all the excitement that we're gonna get. Seattle could barely get anything towards Demko, barely get anything set up. And then there's another breakaway. Teddy Bluger, unassisted, he gets his 100th career point and his first as a Canuck. Great deke. Yeah, shorthanded breakaway. Just a classic, I saw a lot of people saying this on Twitter, a classic 53 goal. Sorry. Okay. All right. My apologies. Yeah, on that power play, there was not a single shot for Seattle, so that was refreshing. I mean, karma eventually later, but, then immediately after that, also after the Teddy Bluger goal, they were playing Welcome to the Black Parade by My Chemical Romance. I think it was Welcome to the Black Parade. It was definitely My Chemical Romance. It was weird. But yeah, Miller gets a tripping penalty right after that Seattle power play is over, and it was right behind the Kraken net. So this is immediately after the Bluger goal, so it's like kind of like it's funny, right? Oh yeah, we should go get more penalties. Maybe we'll score more goals. Um, yeah, we had good chances. We had better chances on the penalty kill than the Kraken did. Um, except for the second penalty kill when the Kraken began forechecking hard, and then Matty Beniers posting in. It was very, there's a Bluger and Oman miscommunication. Myers tries to step up into that position and doesn't, obviously. Except a goal wasn't meant to happen. It was offside. It was definitely offside. Kraken player went over the line before Yamamoto brought the puck in. It was kind of hidden because Shorts was kind of hiding where Yamamoto was, but it was pretty clear. That's why Talkett was apparently not pleased with that. But yeah, so from 1-1, 1-0. Phil DiGiuseppe and Joshua rush in but can't get the shot on goal. Joshua Myers connect to send the puck out. There's a scramble in front of Demko, but Cole gets the puck out. Basically just a lot of, penalty kill 101. Demko kept leaving the net. Besser, again, a missed shot. Eberle, we left him without a goal tonight, which is good, because he has 24 goals against the Canucks. It's the most inactive players in the NHL. That is insane. There were a lot of Canucks fans in attendance. We'll get to that later on, but we do have two of our Game Over members. Two of my lovely Game Over co-hosts, Parker and Clay, were there, so shout out to them. There were a lot of good Demko stops. Ian Cole was like a good force tonight. Like, he did a lot of good stuff on the penalty kill, just defense in general around Demko. I thought that he had a great night. Again, Besser chance. And then there's a double minor for Tyler Myers. He got it's a Burrows jersey from years ago, but Myers gets a high sticking call on Eberle. Was the double minor because he was bleeding, or was the double minor because he hit two players? Because he also took out JT Miller. Yeah, pretty much he was trying to get the puck off Eberle when Miller already had him. And his stick came up and hit both Eberle and Miller in the face. Good pressure by Canucks. Few shots. There's 4 shots by the Kraken in the first half. Then the second, there were technically no shots on the net. But there was no shots on the net. But they did have a few shots. Just, they get deflected because that's how that works. There was one interesting moment on the back half of that penalty kill. Yeah, it was because of bleeding, but he hit 2 players. Pettersson brought in the puck to the Kraken zone with Miller. He looked like he was about to shoot, but then immediately changed his mind. I thought it was a little bit interesting because, yes, there are rumors like what his injury is. It is said to be like something groin issue related, but at the same time, like, I just thought it was weird. That was the exact same thing. I was watching some old games from when the Bruce Boudreau era just started. I was watching that was when Petey was still coming off of his, like, season-ending injury the year before. He had wrist surgery you get a lot of stuff going on, and he wasn't back to 100% until, like, January. But this is, like, December 2021. Yeah, he was still doing the same stuff. So I'm a little worried there, but yeah, so the Kraken eventually, they did not get a single other penalty, or the Canucks did not get a penalty called against them for the rest of the game, so the Kraken went 0-4 in total because of the double minor. Before this game, the Kraken were 25% on the power play, 7th in the league. It's obviously not updated yet, but yeah, so they were Okay, for some reason in my screenshot I highlighted the Arizona Coyotes, who are ahead of them. The Canucks, before tonight's game, were in fourth. They had a 29.7% on the power play. New York was slightly above with 29.8. Tampa, 31. Maybe that went down. Then New Jersey was at the top of the penalty power play. Sorry. But yeah, Seattle and Edmonton were tied. Seattle, Edmonton tied, then New York. Vegas is under there. Carolina's under there. Boston is under there. LA is under there. Like, it's just odd. It's an odd placement. I feel like that's probably going to take a while and it's going to go down. This is one of the first injuries for the Seattle Kraken because they started the game with 12 forwards and they ended the game with 9. This one, Tanev missed a few games already in the season because of a weird fall. He like landed on his leg, twisted weird, understandable, injury. He comes back in. Hoglander lost the puck at center ice. He hits Tanev. Tanev may have re-injured the ankle. We don't know for sure. He just didn't return to the game after it was about the end of the first period. So, yeah. Brandon Tanev out, and the Kraken were down to 11 forwards. At one point, Bjorkstrand in the third also left, and then we'll get to the end of the game later. So, that was at the end of the first period. The Canucks are up by 1. They almost weren't, but then they were. Cole sends the puck up to Miller, to Bjorkstrand, but Demko stops the puck. Another Kraken push is kept out. This is when it starts going downhill for the Canucks. The second period, it was likened on the broadcast to the Ottawa Senators game, and I have to agree, because the Senators game, they literally just stopped caring in the second, and then were like, okay, we have to like actually play hockey, for 60 minutes, like we're paid millions to do, whereas in this game, it was exactly the same thing. I mean, yes, we did score, and we had a power play. We did score. But at the same time, we just really weren't doing anything. The Canucks, it was mentioned earlier in the chat, but I want to bring this up now. The Canucks did not have a shot on goal for 10 minutes. And this was about 7.5 minutes into the second. They did not have a shot on goal for the last 3 minutes or so in the first period. And then a good majority of the first half of the second period. Yeah, they barely had any chances in the Kraken zone. They were scrambling for offensive chances. And then Dakota Joshua. He got the Fred J. Hume Award last season for Unsung Hero, and I think he's trying to get it for himself again. We know he's been scratched. He's been scratched so far this season. But, you know what? If Patrick Laine can get scratched, whatever. He stays out after his shift. He's the only Canuck in the offensive zone, and he keeps the puck behind the net, waits for, the rest of the team to join him in the spot they're supposed to be. And he stays in front of the net. Garland gets a couple shots in, not very clear, and then Joshua gets last tap in. And yeah, it's 2-0 Canucks. Garland gets an assist, and Nils Aman in his first game back in the NHL this season gets an assist. His first NHL point of the season. For reference, in the AHL, he had 15 points in 15 games for the Abbotsford Canucks, 8 goals in 7 games. Last season, for the big guys, 68 games, he had 16 points, 4 goals, 12 assists. He was a -12, but then again, the Canucks were terrible, so that's a given. Yeah, so Joshua, 2-0. Then we get a power play, so Dumoulin for cross-checking on DiGiuseppe. The Canucks were setting up good shooting lanes. Quinn is on both units, because during the practice earlier today, they had Akito Hirose as, like, the defenseman on the second pairing, and they added Hronek on the first pairing with Quinn, so I felt like that was a good matchup. I do like that matchup if Kuzmenko doesn't continue being good for the power play. I thought it looked good with Corona, Hughes, Pettersson, Miller, Besser, but I do think that, yeah, if Kuzmenko gets back to where he was last season, I think it'll be a great. It's just a sophomore slump. It's all right. Yeah, Quinn Hughes is on both units. I know you're captain, but take a breather, man. Yeah, little crazy, but I respect it. We used to have Hronek on the back end of that second unit. I mean, we last season we had Oliver Ekman-Larsson, so I thought he was good. Admittedly on the second unit, even though they weren't allowed out much. Not a lot happened for the Canucks last year. We're just that last season didn't happen. But Quinn Hughes, yeah, he was on for both units. On the second power play, yeah, Kita Hirose was part of it, but he didn't actually. He was ended up being scratched. So, yeah, just thought it was interesting. Garland was. I mean, technically he didn't score a goal, but he did get an assist tonight, if that counts. I don't know. He may have gotten two, but on the NHL website, if I refresh it here, are they gonna award? Okay, they did. They just didn't update it last time. So when I checked, it was Mikheyev unassisted on that last goal, and I was so confused because I was like, that's just not what happened. The puck didn't just appear from midair, and Mikheyev just happened to tap it in. No, there was Garland passing it to him. But yeah, after that power play is over, the Kraken get one back. It's a 2-1 game. It's, one goal lead going into the third again. Cartier, Canucks failed to clear the puck. Shocker. They're barely doing anything this period. They, basically Mikheyev tried to send it to Pettersson at the blue line, but Dunn came in, stole it, sent it over to Cartier. Yeah, Miller blocked a lot of shots. He blocked one that hurt in the end of the second and in the third at one point as well. A little concerning considering, he's kind of important to the team, but, he's a little important. He's a little important. Third period. Not a lot going on for the first little while. A lot of incomplete passes. Face-offs weren't great. They were icing the puck instead of defense, which was, a very early tactic from last season. Icings are not defense. It's, ingrained in my brain forever. Everything that is my worst nightmare, I compare to last season, because of just how it began. So, if I say better than last season, I mean it. Also, I'm not going to compare to, the worst season statistics from, the 70s, because that was a completely different game. Canucks get another goal. 3-1. It was Lafferty. We thought it was Hronek, but it wasn't. Hughes has a 10-game point streak. He is still pretty far back from NHL scoring lead now, because Kucherov got 6 points, I believe, in total, against the Hurricanes tonight. Pray for me, please, because I have Antti Ranta as one of my goalies in fantasy. In the game over fantasy, that's even worse too. I have Demko, which is great. He's worked out great for me most of the time. And then I got Freddie Anderson because I just like him. I was like, okay, I need another semi-decent goalie or decent goalie. He's a pretty decent goalie. But then he gets injured. Well, not injured in a game, but he has medical situations. Understandable. So I was like, okay, Ranta, he's the backup. I'll just get him in. And that worked out great tonight. They left him in for the entire 8 goals, according to my fantasy app. So aside from that, Quinn Hughes has a 10-game point streak. Please give me fantasy tips. I'm so bad. Hronek shot it from the blue line. Hughes passed from Hughes. Puck was passed from Hughes to Hronek, and Mikheyev kind of standing in the middle. Should have picked Hellebuck. He was gone already, okay? These are other hockey people. They're smart. Mikheyev was distracted, basically distracted the rest of the Kraken. Then Lafferty tipped it. It was like kind of a point of debate. I really thought it was Hronek's goal, and then there was like a mark of the puck on Lafferty's stick, and it kind of deflected. So yeah, makes sense. Nils Höglander gets another goal. 4 in his last 5, his 7th of the season. He has a 5-game point streak. Aman wins the puck on the boards. Höglander takes it down the ice, looks over to Connor Garland, does not pass, and scores instead. Great job. Kraken start getting sloppy. This is after Bjorkstrand went down, also with an injury. Don't know what the extent of that is yet, but I'm sure we're here. Mikheyev, I swear, almost did the Michigan, but didn't. Boo. Second power play. Cartier for interference. So, and then he starts to try and fight like everybody that's on the ice. Like he starts verbally going after Höglander, DiGiuseppe. There's a couple other guys on the ice. I don't exactly remember who was on the ice at the time, but he was not happy. So he also gets a game misconduct. So it looked like he was going after Höglander, maybe for revenge on Tanev. But Tanev is also the one who kept Breezeball out since the preseason. So I talked a lot on the last Seattle Canucks game over about how the rivalry isn't there yet. It's like, it's simmering. It's not boiling, but it's simmering. Yeah, a little bit of revenge. He still gets a misconduct. And then immediately after the power play ends, so it's not a power play goal, it's an even strength goal. Mikheyev scores. It was the weird goal that there was a lot of shots, a lot of chaos around the net. Myers passes to Garland. Garland passes to Mikheyev. Mikheyev's right in front of Joey Decord. He taps it in. And then immediately after, Will Borgen just kind of like shoves him to the ice. Because that's something you can do. Like, I understand being frustrated, but instead you should yell at your goalie and tap on the top of the net instead of knocking a guy down. Hockey is ridiculous. I also, call back to earlier, the Canucks fans were doing the woo in the arena. I thought that was really nice, because we are well established across the border. I was chatting last night because it's like, oh, the Canucks fans or Vancouver people always follow like sports in Seattle. Like, no, we have our own. Do you think I'm gonna like the Seattle Sounders? Absolutely not. So that was pretty much it for the game, except for the last like 90 seconds when Teddy Bluger and Yanni Gourde decided to start chatting. They had a nice little chat. They had a nice little talk. They had a meeting. They had a little connection at the face-off. They start going at it. Wasn't even a takedown. Ref just steps in. Refs step in as it was getting good. They're still trying to fight. It was a high emotional stakes game. They're still trying to fight. Ref steps in. I don't know. I'm in a weird position where I'm like, I don't think we should completely abolish fighting, but it's not exactly good for the player's health. But if you're gonna at least allow stuff, like, at least make it fun. Natty was at the game. Yeah, I saw Clay posted a picture with her and his son and Nadia's mom. Yeah, so that's about the game recap. The Canucks won 5-1 against the Kraken. They're divisional rivals, so they can keep holding on to that wild card spot in their dreams. As a reminder, the Flames also won tonight, 6-4 against the Stars. I stopped watching that game when it was like 1-0. So wow. Yeah, overall, great game for the Canucks. Great game for the like half an hour of the Canucks. The other half, maybe they need a little recharge. They need more battery. Anyway, like the stream, subscribe down below to SDPN. Follow me at Real Kaime. Follow at SCPN Sports, both on Twitter. Yeah, and let's get into the news that dropped just before, not just before puck drop. It was like 6:30, but I'm just sitting there. I'm chilling. I look at my phone. We have signed. Oh my gosh, this is it. This is it. They get the big one. They caught the big fish. Not from the market in Seattle, but the big the big fish. The big fish. It was not. But it was another very good player that I like. You know, he's a good bottom six guy, good. Is that league min? I'm bad at math, probably. We signed Nils Aman to a 2-year. It's not a contract extension because he's currently in the second year of his entry level contract. That his cap hit is $883,750. And at the end of the season, he was going to have. He's an RFA, like many entry level are. The qualifying offer was $874,125 for, you know, the Canucks, or for whoever was going to sign him after. So Patrick Allvin gets ahead of himself, considering he signed the last contract. And he signs him today to a new contract, a 2-year, not extension, but his first big league contract. Sorry. Losing my voice a little. That's not good. A 2-year contract valued at 1.65. So yeah, instead of his qualifying offer of 874,125, which is very, very specific, 825,000 for a cap that is probably gonna go up by like the amount that his cap hit is. I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty nice. I think the intention is to keep him in the bottom six in the next few years, because I don't know the Miners' salary is says the same on Cap Friendly right now. I would assume they want to keep him up, but I think it's a good deal. I think it's a good deal. I want to know your thoughts. I want to know your thoughts on the game. I want to know you. Not on the game. We talked about the game. We discussed the game. Yes, Parker and Clay were at the game. They were very lucky. I think I've only ever seen, in real life, I've only ever seen the Canucks beat the Kraken 5-2. That was twice. 2 different games I saw the Canucks beat the Kraken 5-2. Once was February of 2022. It was the inaugural season. Mark Giordano scored to make it 2-1 Kraken going into the second, but yeah, the Canucks won that game 5-2. And then later on in the season, during the game, we actually got eliminated from the 2022 playoffs because LA won, or Dallas, something, you know, the whole math, essentially. Yeah, that game, we also won 5-2, and it was, game 80. Never been to an NHL game. I used to be able to count, but yeah. Also, note for tonight, I thought of this while the game was starting. How many Canucks coaches has Dave Haxtell seen? He's been the Kraken coach since 2021, when the Kraken started, 2021-22 season. When we started, I'll remember this because Travis Green coached our first game against the Kraken, too. If you remember. If you also remember the Connor Garland stare thing. Yeah, Dave Haxtell has seen, like, 3 different eras of the Canucks in not even 3 years. Man, every time they come to Climate Pledge, he's gotta, like, make sure that he's checking the news to make sure we didn't get rid of another one. Right now, he's probably like, okay, they're doing decently fine. But yeah, too many Canucks. I know my first one, and I know my second, and I know my first like five, and then it gets fuzzy. Just and like the first five were in a very large span, and everything else has been within a year. I'm glad you're finally getting to review some more wins now. Oh my gosh, last season I didn't cover a win, I swear, until December. Like I didn't cover a like I swear I didn't cover a win until I was 20. That is how long it felt. It's probably not accurate, but that's how it felt. That's how it felt for last season. I The running joke was every time I covered the show, we lost. Because I covered the last of the 0 and 7, and then the Canucks, I don't think I need to bring up. It was fun but sad, yeah. I mean, that was like my one running bit. Like, I don't know what else to do now. Yeah. Nils Aman, I think the contract is a good signing. People are like, what about PD? What about PD? It's not really gonna matter. Um, that's probably like, it's not gonna matter in the big scheme of things overall for re-signing Pettersson. Um, yeah, considering how much money gets off the books this year in Myers, I know we also have to sign Hronek, and I know we have the buyout, and I know. There's so many different cap implications going into this team, but um, I do think that it was a good decision to re-sign him instead of just leaving him be. Petey not playing well is kind of good for the Canucks. Oh, I also had that thought. I was like, we scratched Kuzmenko in 151. I, I don't want to. I don't want to say. I think my take on Kuzmenko is, you need to take a step back, reevaluate. He has a more developed prefrontal cortex or lobe, or it's a league min contract. Yeah, it's not gonna really matter in the big scheme of things. I just think Nils Aman is a good piece in our bottom six. That has always been a little off. It's always been like a mess around there. Just a revolving door. But I think we have like a decently cemented one now. For Kuzmenko, I think, yeah, you just need to take a step back, reevaluate, reassess. He'll be back probably tomorrow night. I also think it was probably like they probably want him. They think he'd play a better game against the very much so struggling San Jose Sharks. So I think bringing him in on to that game would be a better idea, in my opinion. Same thing, I think that's when McWard and Hirose are gonna come in. Hirose coming in again. McWard was also recently brought up from Abbotsford. I think it was done good by the Canucks, or they lucked out that they're, in Seattle and Abbotsford's right there. I mean, Abbotsford does have an airport, but it's a very small airport. Yeah, Kuzmenko, yes, he was scratched tonight. Yes, he was a healthy scratch tonight. He's going to be fine. He will come back. He'll sort out the sophomore slump. I mean, Jack Hughes didn't get good until this year. It's okay. It's okay. Jack Hughes has been very, very alright. Very good, but just making a point. Um, 11 million off the cap. Maybe we bring Myers back. I could see that happening, but I also, that is my worst nightmare. Um, yeah. A little bit of my worst nightmare, a little bit of a, okay, that's fine. Do not resign Myers. I think if they're funny, if we get decently okay, if we don't trade him and we get a decent like spot in the playoffs, like as a on a lower deal, I think might work better, but maybe he doesn't want to play here. That's fine. we're closer to Kelowna, but that's also fine. We have to bring Corona back too. Yeah, I think that's gonna be more of the concern on the defensive end of things. He is playing decently well. There have been obviously some games. Tampa. Oh, Tampa. Who do you take out for Kuzmenko? Beauvillier. I wonder when Bear will sign in Vancouver. I think December, January, probably. Probably January is when he fully comes back. I know he's been training recently, but you also have to be at a decent NHL level. Ethan Bear is a pretty good defenseman for us for the season that he was here. He is an RFA, so we do get Quinn Hughes was always good. I meant his brother. I meant what I said. Bear, yeah, I could see when he's 100. Well, yeah, closer to 100% re-signing with the Canucks. Well, or the Canucks trade him, but I also don't see that happening. I know he was trading at a BCHL rink though, so that was cool. Because I was like, oh, West Kelowna, I know them. Well, not really, but same league. Anyway, he was trash for the first 5 games that has been good since. Yes, Myers is interesting. Chaos draft, this, that, blah, blah, blah. I think he's concerning, but overall, not the biggest issue. DeSmith re-signing. Do we not have him next? Oh, we don't. Oh. I mean, I think maybe the idea was Sealoves comes up after this. I think that's why they traded for DeSmith, because maybe they're bringing Sealoves up as a backup next year, when he's a little older, but I don't really know. How's he doing so far this season? Yeah, because Sealoves is an RFA at the end of this year. He's a 908 so far. Yeah, I think Sealoves is gonna come up and play for the big league. Laid on a Myers jersey because of how bad he is. Oh god. I almost got what jersey was it? They had a bunch of Horvat's jerseys at the Canucks team store a few weeks ago, and I was looking at them and I was like, okay, maybe Beauvillier is getting traded. 100%. 100%. I hope they trade Garland. No. I think Beauvillier, I think the idea was we're trading him at the deadline. I think that was the idea from the start. Yeah, I almost got a All You Love You jersey because I thought it was 50% off, because near the Horvat jerseys, they had a sign, 50% off traded player jerseys. He said that. Or former player. I think it was traded player though. And I was looking through the other ones and it said there was a You Love You one. And I was like, no. Almost. So close. Hughes captain jersey. Yes. I need to cop one of those as well. I actually don't have a Hughes jersey. The reason I'm wearing this one tonight, the Burrows one, is because I was like, I have a Besser, I have a Pettersson. My Luongo's missing. But yeah, I need a Hughes jersey. I was like, I want to wear the captain because he had 10 game point streak, and then I was like, oh, I don't have that. I don't have that, but that's okay. That is a jersey I will get. It was either this or I was gonna throw on like a, I don't know, Calgary jersey. Because that's fun. It's not even a current Flames jersey. It's from like 2018 and it's a Kachuk jersey. Puck from Horvat? Oh. He's that, yeah. The Isles game, it was emotional. It was emotional. On a lot of, I cried a few times, but I was just watching at home. I cried a few times. I had one point about Pettersson. Yes. So, Pettersson, 98% sure he's injured. I am sure of it. He was leading the NHL in scoring for a while. Obviously, something has been bothering him since Tyler Myers literally fell on top of him. He put his entire 6'8" self onto Pettersson and smushed him. Not really smushed him. They're professional athletes. They're men. They're big guys. But that's just a weird comment to say. You shouldn't be talking to women. Sorry. Anyway, aside from that, chat, please be respectful. And don't say weird stuff about me, and myself, and just, women in general. Yeah, Pettersson. So Pettersson, something's obviously been bothering him since the incident in Tampa. That's what I'm calling it. The incident. You can go back and watch Game Over from that night, or listen. Shout out audio listeners. Myers injured Petey and / Miller. Let's be normal. Yeah. Thank you, Liz. Shout out Liz from Game Over Winnipeg. Good win. Winnipeg did good. Oh, it was against Florida. Still. I want to resign him for the meme aspect of it. At the same time, he did score a shorthanded goal. Yeah, Pettersson, something's been bothering him since that incident. While he has been putting up points, he's hit a bit of a wall here. Obviously, he's not shooting the same as he was. It's kind of looking back to where he was in the 2021-22 season. Because last season, he was tearing it up. The team wasn't. He was tearing it up. This season, he was tearing it up, and then, yeah, stops, reevaluate. I don't know if this is a hot take. I said this last night on Clay's stream, and I don't know about people's thoughts about it. So I'm gonna finish off the stream with this thought before I lose my voice. I think if Pettersson is injured, and obviously it's affecting him, obviously, it's obvious to me, and I am kilometers and kilometers away from where they're playing. I think, because of the position we are in, let me see right now. Let me refresh, because the NHL website is never accurate. Where we are currently, second in the Pacific. On top of the LA Kings, we have a .690 win percentage. We have a record of 14-6-1. I think. Now hear me out. I think if Pettersson's injured, we take him out for a while. We take him out, get him back to 100%. We're obviously doing well, and I understand he's one of our best players, but you also, to be one of our best players, to be one of the best players in the league, like he definitely has shown that he can be, you need to be at 100%. And my take about injured players, it's always like, oh, they're so strong for doing this, oh, they're so strong. And I understand, adrenaline can be a hell of a motivating factor. But if you're injured, if your body is literally telling you, stop doing this, we can't until Suter is back, we have so many, we can do it. We can do it. Until Suter returns back from the void. I think when it is safe for the Canucks, maybe it's winter break, maybe it's the turn of the new year, maybe it's... What's the Canucks schedule? Maybe it's a few weeks from now. He could be a week away. Yeah. Winter break. I think if we have no more good centers. We can pretend. It's fine. If the Sharks can pretend to be an NHL team, we can pretend to have 4 strong centers. That's okay. No hate to the Sharks, obviously. They're going through it right now. We have too many forwards because we have too many wingers. I think, yeah. Pettersson needs a little break. he needs a break. That's my thought. My hot take is he's getting taken out because in order to be one of the better players, you need to be at a better set of health. I think that's not the right word I'm trying to go for, but it is. Um, I do think, yeah. Take some time off. The Canucks have, you know, a, they always have a weird schedule, but we need we need Dickinson. Hey, Dickinson got a hat trick tonight, okay? Against the Leafs. But Dickinson got a hat trick, okay? I think it was just that era of the Canucks being horrible, like they always are. I think, hey, I'm not saying that he's going on LTIR to circumvent the cap like a Mark Stone or a Kucherov or maybe a John Klingberg. We have no idea where that guy went. But we're not a hot take. Okay, well I feel like every take on in the Canucks side of things is a hot take because everyone disagrees with everything. I think they could just take him out for a couple of games. It could be a couple games that are either already scheduled losses or already scheduled wins. You never know. It could be that. It could be he doesn't go out and we end up missing everything. Knock on wood. That won't happen. This desk is cardboard. I've been Kaja May. Let's hope that injuries don't get worse for the Canucks. Knock on wood. Cardboard. The desk is cardboard. I've been Kaja May. You can follow me at Real Kaja May on Twitter. You can follow SDPN Sports on Twitter as well. Like the stream, comment down below. Subscribe to SDPN. Rate and review on podcast platforms. And yeah, the Canucks beat the Seattle Kraken 5-1 tonight. And it's nice, because they lost. They lost last week in a very close game, but we beat the Seattle Kraken 5-1. Good game. The Canucks have their mojo back. They're going into San Jose. They're gonna lose 10-1. That's it. San Jose revenge game. Totally not like we played them already this week. Alright, good night, everybody. Have a happy Black Friday, I guess. Good night.